Continuing our reading in Hellbent for Election by Phyllis Speshock, today is chapter 29, and it finishes the book. No sooner had Alexis vanished into the eternal sunrise than I was seated once more in the office of the High Registrar. As before, there were other presences like myself here and there about the designated space. Also, as before, they chattered and worried and occasionally snapped at one another. "I do wish they would hurry," said Mrs. Impatient, twitching uncomfortably. "I was long enough time dying in that miserable convalescent home. You would think they could at least use a little consideration up here." Said Shirley Miser, sitting next to me. "Probably bled her husband dry before kicked off." "I heard that," said Mrs. Impatient. "And I'll have you know that my husband, however slow he might have been, was never one to deny his family comfort. As long as we gave our fair share to him, we were always blessed." "Oh, no," groaned Miser. "Don't tell me I've got to hear that even up here." Now, I heard myself saying, quite amused by it all. "It won't be at all like that. You shall have all the time. Mrs. Impatient, and you, Mr. Miser, shall have only to receive." They both turned to stare at me, and as they did so, a strange realization flitted through my mind. Complete Trust, whom I had met on my first appearance in this office, had been on his second time through. That was why he had been so utterly reassured, though possibly there were some very few, who were ready to go directly on. I found myself wondering then, fleetingly, whatever happened to the other presences who I had been with the first time. Possibly they had adjusted sooner than I. Possibly I would meet them again. Possibly never, though I doubted that. And I truly looked forward to the encounters. But I had no further chance to ponder, for the receptionist materialized and said, "Mrs. Impatient, come this way." Mrs. Impatient rose and followed. They disappeared half hidden in the mist behind the iridescent door. There was a rustle as several new presences appeared and were seated. Then another came to sit at the opposite side of me. I recognized him at once, and my being warmed with love and understanding. His name was Seriously Reluctant. You seem to be quite sure about everything," he said nervously. "Truthfully, I don't know how I came to be up here for election, except that I believed. I really didn't mean to believe, and for years I got by without believing. But then, as time went by and I watched all those crabs, mostly my own relatives, having a spat here and a tiff there, why, I couldn't help believing. I thought anything managing to continue and expand with all that going on inside must have him at the controls. And so I just believed." "I know," I said. "I know, but don't worry about it. It will be all right. Really, it will." "It's easy for your kind to talk," he said rather grouchily. "You probably never had a doubt in your life." "Oh, I did," I said. "I'm sure we all did. But it doesn't matter now. He will make it all right. You'll see." "Yeah, I'd like to know how he's going to make it all right, that I saved all my life and died before I spent any of it," inserted Surly Miser. "I'd like to know how he's going to make that all right." I felt my formless face smiling broadly. "Perhaps," I said gently. "The pleasure was in the saving, but it will make no difference now." "Pleasure," he snorted. "Going without the teeth I needed, squinting to read my paper, shivering all winter." But then the receptionist appeared again and stood before him. "Mr. Miser, come this way." And they were gone, around the end of the desk and beyond. Will it be all right for him?" asked Reluctant. Or will he go on grousing all through eternity, and I shall have to listen to him as I did old Aunt Harpy?" I could not keep from laughing out loud. "It will be all right for him," I assured Reluctant. "It will be all right for you, too. Simply trust and obey." But will we have no free will?" I smiled even more over this. I'm sure we will have, I said, more and better than ever before. But before he could question that, there was another rustle, and two more presences appeared. One of the others got up and took Surly Miser's seat next to me. I couldn't help overhearing you, she said in a middle-aged voice. Frankly, I don't think too much freedom is a good thing. I have never approved of the questionable attire of many guidebook characters any more than I approve of stockingless legs, sleeveless dresses. Oh, tell me it'll be all right, interrupted seriously, reluctant with a sigh of disgust. How can it be? When they can fly all over and pick away at you, even in a place like this. It will be all right, I said, still smiling. Take his word for it. And then I turned to the female presence and said, I feel sure you will find it all to your liking too, Mrs. Straight-Laced. I am sure each of us will have his mind above and beyond. But then the receptionist was standing before me. Mr. Heavenbound, come this way. Embarrassed, skittered through me like an electric shock. So quickly that the sensation was a pleasure. I started to say, there must be some mistake. I am hellbent, willfully hellbent for election. But when the receptionist's eyes met mine, I saw the mirth, clear and deep. There had been no mistake. My name had been changed for obvious reasons. I was an adopted son, already elect. I was Mr. Heavenbound. Merriment shone for an instant between us, like two sharing a great secret joke. And then I arose and followed, doing a wee gig to give vent to the singing and laughter that swelled inside me, until I liked to choke from the anticipation of the joy yet to come. And that's the end of the book.